Greetings everyone, I am Hanishan Hinos, your BSE English student, and I welcome you back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be having a short presentation about Chinese English and its features. So this is in relation to my previous post, which was all about contrastive analysis, error analysis, and interlanguage theory. So this is all under linguistics of second language acquisition. So now, let's start. So the question is China English considered or now considered as part of a standard English? Or is it considered a standard English? So as of January 2022, China English is not yet recognized as a standard variety of English like British English or American English. However, China's influence in the global arena, including economic and cultural spheres, has led to the emergence of what some people refer to as this Chinese English or Chinglish. So China English or Chinglish refers to the unique way English is spoken and written by Chinese people. It is influenced by their grammar, syntax, and cultural system. So it can involve direct translation from Chinese, resulting in phrases or sentences that may sound unusual or incorrect to native English speakers. So now let us delve into the distinct features of China in phonology, lexicon, syntax, and discourse. So let's start with its phonology, its tonal influence. Chinese is a tonal language, and this tonality can influence the pronunciation of English words by Chinese speakers. So for an instance, tones may be applied to English words unintentionally. Pronunciation of consonants. So some consonants sound in English may be pronounced differently by Chinese speakers. So for example, the distinction between R and L may be challenging, as Mandarin Chinese does not have a clear differentiation between these sounds. Second is its distinct features in with its lexicon. So unique vocabulary. Chinese English may use vocabulary items or phrases that are not commonly found in other varieties of English, so reflecting Chinese cultural concepts and practices. So for example, phrases like building guanzhi or leveraging guanzhi are commonly used to emphasize the significance of cultivating and maintaining connections to achieve goals or navigate social situations. So this term reflects the emphasis on social networks and interpersonal dynamics that are integral to Chinese society but may not have direct equivalence in other varieties of English. So in here we can see how the Chinese term guanzhi is being used together with a English term, and that is building. So this happens when a Chinese speaker speaks or conversates with an English native, and maybe that Chinese speaker is still in the midst or in the process or in his time of learning the language, and he happened to not know the equivalence of the word guanzhi, which is in English means relation. I mean, he may still not be was able to know or meet that word yet, and so instead of using the term relation, he just used the word guanzhi to complete his sentence. So that's like building relations. So instead of relations, he just used, or he or she might just use one they. Second is syntax. So as we all know, syntax is the of um, arrangement of the structuring of words. So the Chinese English actually follows a topic comment structure. The Chinese language often uses topic comment structure, which can influence the syntax of English spoken by Chinese speakers. So this may result in sentences structured differently from those of native English speakers. So example of Chinese topic comment structure is, for example, the topic is my hometown, and a Chinese would so in Chinese they would say 我的家乡, and the reply or the comment would be 风景很美丽, or which means the scenery is very beautiful. So in this example, the Chinese topic comment structure places emphasis on the topic, my hometown, followed by the comment, the scenery is very beautiful. So usually in English conversations, native English would arrange would say it in this way: in my hometown, the scenery is very beautiful, or the scenery in my hometown is very beautiful. So when translated directly into English, the syntax may appear different from typical English sentence structures, where the comment usually precedes the topic. So in English, usually um, the scenery is very beautiful in my hometown. It would be arranged in that way. Syntactically, it would be arranged in that way. But in Chinese, due to their as this as an implication of their culture, of their linguistic culture, they would rather say it as my hometown. The scenery is very beautiful. Distinct features of China in syntax: lack of plural marking. So example of the Chinese English sentence, I have three cats. So in this example, the lack of plural marking in Chinese can lead Chinese speakers to omit or to remove the plural marker "s" unconsciously when referring to the plural nouns in English. While in English, the correct sentence would be, I have three cats. Chinese speakers might unintentionally omit the plural marker due to the lack of similar grammatical feature in their native language. So this phenomenon is a common error made by Chinese English learners or speakers, reflecting the influence of the grammatical structures of their native language on their English syntax. And lastly, we have the discourse. Under discourse is indirectness and politeness. Chinese culture values indirectness and politeness in communication, and these cultural norms may influence the discourse patterns of Chinese English speakers. As a result, expression of disagreement or criticism may be more subtly conveyed. So in native English, a native English would, when they have something that they cannot concord to, they would rather say it straightforward, in a forward way. For example, I disagree with your proposal because I believe it is not feasible. So they say to you directly what they think and what they feel about the proposal. Whereas Chinese people or Chinese English, a Chinese person speaking in English would say it in this way: I understand your perspective, but perhaps we could explore some alternative options that might better suit our objectives. So here we can see how they construct their sentence. They do it in a in a polite and um, validating way. So they bring to their linguistic performance their cultural values. So Chinese people values politeness and um, they value politeness and being respectful. So we can see here how the social culture or social values is being brought when they spoke or when they speak. So in this example, a Chinese English speaker might choose a more indirect approach to express disagreement compared to a native English speaker. So the Chinese English response acknowledges the other person's perspective and suggests considering alternative options, avoiding direct confrontation or criticism. So this indirect approach reflects the cultural value on harmony and avoiding loss of face in Chinese communication. So Chinese people um, has this culture where they value so much about their reputation or what the other people would think about them. So they care a lot about what other people how other people will perceive of them. So they try to be as polite as possible in their words and their actions and their body language. They try to avoid creating mistakes as they don't like confrontations. So here we can see how their social value is being brought, as I've said, is being brought in the way of communicating with other people, and not just with their co Chinese people, but also most especially with their um, international friends or international colleagues. So that is all for my presentation. I hope you guys have learned or have got something out from that. I will see you in my next video. Thank you.